What's up, everybody? How you doing? NBA draft is in about half an hour, so we'll try and wrap this content up as soon as we can. Give you a little bit of our preview. It's a quick turnaround between the NBA finals, so did get as far as we wanted to, but I'm still excited nonetheless. A lot of great prospects, a lot more international players from what I've noticed. Um, Diego, how you doing? What's up with you?
Nothing much. Just ready to go back home for 4th of July break here in a few days. Basically locked in for the draft. I'm excited to see. I'm here for the trades as usual. We've already seen a few. We'll talk about that as well. And I'm excited. It's good.
Yeah,
Looking forward to
good
next season.
segue up there. Yeah, it's already locked in. Like I feel like there's a lot going on. Olympic basketball, summer
Hmm.
league, like it's
Yeah.
never ending. Like basketball, you don't get a break pretty much. So which is
Yeah.
nice. There's a couple guys that I see um, that I really like, and a couple surprises when I've been looking at mock drafts. But for now, let's stick with the trades. I was surprised by
No.
this. I really thought Alex Caruso and the Bulls would find a way to stick it out together, but it looks like they're blowing the whole thing up. I have no idea what's going
Yeah.
with Levine. I have no idea what's going with DeRozan. It's just like, why are you waiting in that case? I thought you were waiting to in order to see what it looks like when everybody's healthy. Um,
Hmm.
Now they're like, oh, let's trade
It's
for
over.
Giddey. I
Yeah.
I it's not like a hate on Giddey as the player. It's like it was just one of those things when the Celtics traded for who was it?
Derek White.
They no. When they traded
Chris,
away Marcus Smart
yeah.
and
Chris
allowed
Stops.
Derek White to go into the starting lineup. Like it was just I get it, but like Caruso is the Bulls what Marcus Smart was the Celtics at that point in time.
Yeah.
Like he was the heart of that Bulls defense and they just traded him away. Giddy's talent I'm a little bit higher than most on this, like because he's still so young that his shooting can come up at any moment in time. The one thing I
Hmm.
like about him is his offensive playmaking. Now I have questions about what are the Bulls going to do from a defensive side because
Yeah.
Desunmu is probably their best defender now, but
Like guard
he's
defender.
like to me like a lot of people like him as a defender, but like he has lapses to me that are pretty bad. A lot of
Mm.
game winners on him, obviously, but like it's yeah, I don't know about that if I'm a Bulls fan. It's at this point it looks like they're blowing the whole thing up, like
Yeah.
trying to get as many asses as you can. But um, I like the Giddy pick. I mean, if you're keeping DeRozan and Levine, like the ball's not gonna stick with Giddy. Like he's gonna move around. He's a very great paint attacker. The thing I want to see is can he recover his 3 point shooting?
Hmm.
Um, because as you'll probably guess from what I want the Bulls to address, it's probably the 3 point shooting.
Yeah.
Because you want to surround Levine and DeRozan with that, as well as make sure you're not playing ISO ball. So Kobe White, good 3 point shooting season last year. Build off of that because it's going to make you more powerful. But the Caruso move sucks.
Yeah. I just don't understand why they did it now because I'm pretty sure like at the trade deadline they could have gotten a more attractive haul in terms of if they're actually blowing it all up to get more picks and whatnot. Because for this they get no picks, they just get Josh Giddey, and Josh Giddey's great, but I mean I think Caruso's a better player. Even if Giddey can be an all star in the future, it just doesn't feel like they got what they could have gotten because they could have gotten instead draft picks and possibly a role player or another young player.
Especially from OKC. OKC has so many
Yeah,
to burn, if anything.
exactly.
Um, yeah, I was probably most disappointed about that because
Hmm.
it's not the trade itself. Like it's just a difference in philosophy. Do you lean in on defense, lean in on offensive
Yeah.
diversity, and the Bulls are leaning on offensive diversity. Um,
Hmm.
if assuming to keep Levine and DeRozan. If
Yeah, I don't know
not,
about
then
that.
scratch my whole argument. It's like a youth movement. But
I think that's the move, to be honest, because have a feeling that they might know something about Alonzo that he's not coming back, even though like there were rumors about that he might come back. But I just think you just fire sale everyone now and actually rebuild, which
Yeah.
Like they've been trying to avoid it, but once Lonzo went down, he wasn't coming back. Like it wasn't
They
looking like
got
you were.
stuck in the worst position possible once he went
Yeah,
down
yeah.
because they weren't good enough to tank for a top 5 pick, and they
Hmm.
weren't good enough to make a consistent playoff run. They're always stuck in the play-in version. It's
Yeah,
like, okay. And I actually
most of
liked
it.
their depth this season, but, like, I was very skeptical, like, because ever since they broke up the Rose and, like, Butler combo,
Hmm.
I was like, you saw the talent in Levine and Markkanen, but it was just like, what are we doing here? Why are we trading for Vucevic? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Oh,
like Vooch is a great offensive scorer, but like that's not going to matter deep in the playoffs. Like you need defensive intensity
it's
at all
true.
times, and it's like there was that, and then Levine is a nice aggressive scorer.
Hmm.
Um, and when they got to Rosen, I got really excited because suddenly they unlocked this new level. But then
Hmm.
again, I was still worrying about the bigs playing defense. So like there's a lot of questions I got to answer. Um, in my opinion. As far as the Thunder, this is an elite move. This is a
Yeah.
really elite move because they saw their problem. They saw
Was
team defense
Josh
was a
Giddey.
problem against the Mavs, and
Hmm.
like yeah, throw shade on Giddey all you want, but like this makes Lou Dort's job a lot easier. This makes
Yeah.
Jalen Williams' job a lot easier, and even Shea. Like these guys, they're building a defensive powerhouse over there. And if you can get past any of them, you're gonna have to deal with Chet blocking the ball. So
Hmm.
like it's this is a savvy move. They still have asses they can play around with to make some things happen. So I like this for OKC. Um, no question about it here. But for the Bulls, it's just like, okay, you made your move. What's next on the chessboard? It's
Yeah.
very unclear to me.
Yeah. I'd say the Thunder are just kind of copycat league, copying what the Celtics have. I mean, the Celtics have five guys who are elite defenders in their own kind of niche or whatever, and that's what the Thunder are trying to do. I mean, Shea isn't like a lockdown defender, but he's a guy that you can't mismatch or like post up on him.
He would
Uh,
get 2 steals, like, he was
yeah.
averaging more than 1 steal a game. Like,
Hmm.
he's one of the great, like, on-ball defender
No,
guards,
he's
point
he's a
guards
great
you got.
like he's a good defender. So if
And I'd
that's your
argue
weakest
I'd
guy,
argue OKC is deeper than the Celtics.
yeah, I mean,
They just
Case and
didn't have the top
Wallace.
Ellen talent on, like, their
Hmm.
their their offense of, like, on their starting 5. Their starting 5, like, wasn't there yet with the Celtics, but I think with the Caruso trade, they're they're inching closer to that. I'm not ready to say they're at the Celtics level
They're too
because
young.
I mean, there's that, but like, it's what Holiday and White offer them now, plus the Porzingis. Like,
Mhm.
Chet's got to improve on his 3-point shooting a little bit, and there need and like you said, there's some growing stuff
Yeah,
that um, Jalen Williams and the supporting cast around Shea got to do because Shea's there now. It's just like, can everybody else catch up?
yeah. I mean, that's
But
kind of what I meant by growth is that like
yeah,
Chet's shot can get better. Uh, like all those guys are veterans on the Celtics, more or less, and
right,
so give this OKC team time, they could get there. So yeah,
yeah,
that's it.
100%. Um, a team that's almost looking like they're about to come out of the East each passing season, the New York Knicks. Mikal
Villanova
Bridges,
Knicks.
one of my
Yeah.
favorite players to just watch. I never understood why the Suns traded him in the first place. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got Kevin Durant, but it's like, dang, you let go of 2 really good wings. I love Cameron Johnson and Mikal Bridges as wings. I'm like, if the
Hmm.
Bulls got one of these guys, I would be content. I've
Yeah.
always maintained that philosophy. And now he lands with the Knicks, who seemingly traded for OG Anunoby. They got their wing that they needed, but now they're just building depth because now OG Anunoby, he signed like a 5-year extension. It's like, who's
Hmm.
going to be on the starting lineup now? You got Randall coming back. You got Brunson, DiVincenzo,
Hmm.
Anunoby, and Mikal Bridges now. Then
Yep.
Josh Hart. Then you got whatever you're gonna do with Hartenstein, Mitchell
Yeah.
Robinson. They're probably gonna add on to what they do in the draft with those guys, and a Randall. And it's like, oh, they just only have 8 or 9 deep. Like this is a team that can go 7 games with the Celtics now. I feel like now can they win? We'll see. We'll see. They have to prove they can get to the conference finals, but
Hmm.
this this was a great move. I didn't necessarily like all the first round picks they put into this, but they're making a bet just like they did with Jalen Brunson. And I think
Yeah.
Mikal Bridges is one of those underrated number one options on the team. I think he was severely hampered on the Suns, to be honest.
Yeah. I think well, we saw it especially in that run. I think it was would have been 2022, 23 the season he did get traded to the Nets. Like when Booker was out, he kind of Mikal Bridges took that kind of lead role and he really showed out. That's why I think it's a big reason why the Nets kept him for like over a year, kind of having him in purgatory where he's the best player on the team. And they're like, oh, maybe we'll wait for a better player to come. But I think this is best for him. And I think the Knicks in this situation, yeah, like they made a bet with Brunson that cashed out. But I think this might be a safe bet because you're getting Mikal Bridges, and the whole worry is, oh, you're trading all these picks. The problem with trading all those picks is you have to make sure you're going to be good to make those picks. Either if they're protected, you get them back, or if they're not protected, they're not going to be that good because you're going to be good. You're going to keep that team. And with four of these Villanova guys, I mean, they're literally all friends. Like they would take less money, in my opinion. They would take less money to keep playing with each other. And so that's such a safe kind of hedge on their own bet that, oh yeah, like we have so many Villanova guys, let's keep it going. And not only that, on the court they're gonna be even better because they know each other so well.
Yeah.
And I think again, kind of matching what the Celtics have in like highly skilled defensive wings. Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, all on the same team is crazy, and that could just be their wings. Those guys could just start with Randall at the center. Now I don't know if they'll
DiVincenzo is
do that.
coming off the bench. Randall might
Right,
be coming off the bench. I like this is wow.
it's crazy. I don't know if you even want to trade Randall. Like, is trading Randall a move? Like, it's a question.
I mean, my stance with Randall's always been I don't trust him as
Hmm.
the number one or number two option on the team.
Yeah, I
I
think.
like if he's a third or fourth option, that's fine because then he can be as one dimensional as he wants to be because they're
Hmm.
not focused on that too much. Now you don't have to worry about that because you got Bridges and you got Brunson. Like they're going to be dominating the ball a lot more. Like
Hmm.
it's and Mikal Bridges doesn't have to dominate the ball to make an impact.
Yeah.
And it's just you have that Swiss Army knife like combination. Now whatever I said about Randall doesn't apply because he is not the focal point of this team. He's
Hmm.
not. You
Yeah.
you got all these guys and the combination of them make what's going to make them dangerous this season.
Yeah. It's gonna be nasty. I just think with OG as well, someone has to leave. This team is not like Hartenstein, Randall, someone else maybe. I don't know. They're probably gonna leave because they're either gonna get hard capped and just take it over the second apron or have to get rid of someone. And so we'll see what happens. I love Mitchell Robinson in like if you keep Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein, you could even play like a small ball five of OG Anunoby, which would be great. Like that would be nasty. So that's really interesting. But moving on, Nets wise, I'm really happy. Similar to the Bulls, but like they're more defined on the fact that the Nets are finally going rebuild, full on rebuild. It was confusing why they didn't
Cam
do
Thomas
that.
season.
Yeah, there's so many Mavs trade rumors that we're getting Cam Thomas and Dorian Finney-Smith back. That would be great. Or not Cam Thomas, Cam Johnson. Cam Thomas now can average 30 points and do whatever the fuck he wants. It's good. It's good for him. Uh, yeah, it's good. Good. I feel like it's a good day for Nets fans because again, similar to the Bulls, stuck in like a purgatory of we'll make the playoffs, but at what cost? No, having no picks. Now they get some of their picks back, and then also make that little trade with Houston to then give Houston some Phoenix picks that they can maybe finagle someone with Durant is the rumor, and I don't know. It's too.
That was such a confusing trade for me.
I I'm a three-dimensional creature, and those guys are playing four, five-dimensional chess. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't care about it until I see a trade happen. But it's wild. That is some like next level stuff, and I can't understand who in that front office was like, this is a like I don't know. It's just really
I mean,
interesting.
if you're Houston and you end up landing Durant from this, like that's a great move on your part. But it's just like
Hmm.
if you don't, it's like why? Why get yourself involved in that? Like
Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
but I also
Um,
think, well, real quick, that and like with Paul George is you're having to deal with these older players, great players, older players that are making way like yes, they're legendary players, possibly Hall of Fame players, but at the age they're at and the money they're making, I don't know if it makes sense to take them on unless you have a team that just needs them. And I don't think Houston has that yet. Now maybe they will when they make that trade. I don't know. So just some thoughts there.
I disagree. I
Yeah.
I do think Houston's in a position where if they have a KD or Paul George, it changes their outlook. Now the West is loaded,
Mm-hmm.
100%. So it's like, oh, how much does it change them? But it's like Şengün showed a lot of promise.
Yeah.
Um, like what other better player to learn from as a scorer if you're who's the shooting guard? I'm forgetting his name.
Jalen Green.
Jalen Green. Jalen Green has so much untapped upside. Like learning from Kevin Durant could be possibly the best thing that could happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
And like guys like that, and there's a lot, and you got Fred VanVleet as a leader. So
Yeah.
like you're not forcing Paul George or like Kevin Durant to be that leader. They can be, but like Fred VanVleet's been there, done that, NBA champion, hard-earned way.
Yeah.
It's like Houston's almost there, where I think they're in a position to make a move like this. But if they want to just stick at 3 and pick, that's fine with them as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but thing is with Houston, you better get somebody out of this
Yeah.
because this might be the time to make a move. It really could be. So yeah, that's my opinion on that pick swap idea. But it was really confusing. With the
Yeah.
Nets, like they get a reset almost free from their
Need
like
it.
large bet on like trying to go after a super team and it like crashing on its face. So
Yep.
we'll see what happens. One trade that just happened very
Mm-hmm.
recently was Deni Avita and Malcolm Brogdon. It's not any earth-shattering moves, not moves that are going to change the landscape like the Mikal Bridges trade did, but it could be beneficial for the Trailblazers in a similar spot as the Rockets. They
Mm-hmm.
got up and coming guy with Deni Avita. He's been climbing up there with minutes. Great role player so far. He could have the upside to be more. And they trade away Malcolm Brogdon, 14th overall pick tonight, and then
Yep.
2029 first round pick, as well as two second round picks to Washington. So, what did you
Uh-huh.
make of this trade here?
Yeah, I mean, this is like a common theme where one of the teams more going to rebuilding sort of get gives a more experienced player, Malcolm Brogdon. And I think I don't know, it makes me wonder if they're keeping Brogdon, you know? But uh the Blazers get younger, get Deni, and I think that'll help them, especially have a more complete team of like guys around the same age as Scoot, Simons, Eaton, whereas, Jeremy Grant and Brogdon were kind of outliers there. So I think that's good. I think the Wizards might somehow trade Brogdon for more picks because again, they're a team that is in this sort of uh like I don't know, they're on the edge of rebuilding. Like we don't know what they're gonna do, and they
They
could
have a
trade more
lot of
picks.
like they already have a lot of young guards too on top of that.
Hmm.
So it's just like where
Yeah,
does it's like Brogdon's timeline doesn't fit like what
not
they're
at
trying
all.
to do.
No,
They need to fix a lot of holes. So like I think
the center position.
he's like their like Drew Holiday like cap dump that they're just taking
Hmm.
on his contract and they're just gonna like throw him to some team else. Now the
Hmm.
question is which team is gonna try to go get Brogdon after that, assuming that route is taken. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, if I'm the Suns, I'm gonna try to get Malcolm Brogdon as soon as possible.
it's
Like,
a good
just
idea.
get somebody at guard. Just get
Hmm.
somebody at guard. It's like, and he's not the sexiest name at this point of his career, but for the Suns, like he might as well be their savior because they need a
Yeah,
point guard. So
no, they do need one. Yeah, but interesting trade. Kind of switches things up. That's honestly what I'm here for with trade, draft night, whatever. I just want things to change, things to happen. Gets me more excited for the next season. So we'll see.
yeah, I mean, for the Trailblazers, um, this could be something like depending on how Avito goes because they've been building up their rotation very low key because they got Henderson, they got Aiden,
Hmm.
Simons. I'm in love with
Yeah.
Simons. Jeremy Grant, in love with Grant as well.
Hmm.
Robert Williams, always been a fan of him.
Oh yeah.
And then you got Matisse Thybulle, great rotation player. It'd be
Hmm.
curious to see if he's part of any moves. or like a contending team, and
Yeah.
then now you add Deni Avita. So that's like a good solid 6 or 7. Now it's like you hope like Scoot Henderson can build on the upside, Simons to grow, and then maybe get either Aiden realizes his game or like
Hmm.
get an additional piece, and you could really make some noise as well if you're the Blazers. But um, I'm not expecting them to make the playoffs anytime soon as a result of this trade. I think they're making progress, but um, you just got to keep building on that roster.
Yeah, no, makes sense. One fun fact is that this team is actually in the luxury tax, the Portland Trailblazers, for no reason.
Wow.
Very stupid, but yeah, that is a fun fact for that one.
And you still want to get rid of Dame Dollar. So
Yeah.
I don't think that helped you at all. Okay,
Mhm.
already fun stuff. Futures. We're gonna be talking about futures over here. The NBA draft is gonna be starting underway soon. So I don't think we could do any predictions or any mock drafts in time,
Nah.
unfortunately. But I want you to highlight a couple of guys that are on your like my guys list that regardless of where they're picked, you would want to have this player on your team.
Yeah, I mean, first guy, easy for me, very biased. I have an Illinois flag hanging on my wall. Terrence Shannon Jr. All right, he was accused of like sexual assault. It was completely like not based in fact. Just to like, there was a lot of stuff coming out about how it was just to like uh blemish his character, like muddy his character or whatever. But this guy, just putting that aside, this guy is an absolute monster. Like anytime he gets the ball on fast break, I'm yelling freight train at the top of my lungs. He is a speed and athleticism that I don't know if it's matched in this class. And being like 6'5", 6'6", he's a great player, great defender, great hustle, can shoot the three, even shot a lot of step back threes, which I don't like, but that's sadly where the NBA goes sometimes. But he's a great player, dropped some crazy numbers in the tournament. I think whatever team gets him, you're getting a senior player. I think he may even be a fifth year player, so a really finished product that I see almost no holes in his game besides some slight decision making, which, in my opinion, which probably doesn't matter for the NBA. So great guy there. Another guy I like is Bub Carrington, or Carlton Carrington is his real name. Came out of the University of Pittsburgh, 6'5", but he didn't grow to be 6'5" until like 2 years ago. So he's a reasonably sized point guard, and he's really takes tough shots, mid range shots, 3-point shots, and it's because growing up he wasn't taller than everyone else or the same size, so he had to get really creative on how to make shots, and so he barely shoots in the paint. So I think that's something you get him in an NBA gym, he could be really big. And I think my last guy is let me find the name real quick. Not Rob Dylan. Oh, this guy, Devin Carter. I like him because he's small. He's like 6'2", 6'3", and plays clamp down defense. His offense is not ideal, but that kind of guy really attractive to me. And I think he could be good just from some of the scouting reports I've seen of him.
Currently, he's mocked to the Bulls right now. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I could see it. For me, I just looked at what kind of guys do I want.
Hmm.
I'm shocked that Edie is not mocked higher. I get
Yeah, he's
it.
pretty
I
low.
get it. Like the college game is different from the NBA, but it's like you see the clear talent right here. Like
Hmm.
I would just take the talent and figure out a way to best use him because now that you like it's so easy to score in the NBA. Like you shouldn't have questions about ED's scoring ability. Get
No,
him.
that's not the
Get
question.
him. Just get him. He can block shots too. It's
Yeah.
unbelievable he's not like being mocked in the top 10 right now. For me,
Hmm.
it's a list of shooters I like. Um, not I'm not going with sleepers here. I'm just going with guys. I'm like, you better get him. You better get him because I sense Tyler Hero in these guys. Like obvious one, Reed Shepard. He's mocked at 3 right now, really
Shot
high up.
50% from three.
He is
Nasty.
unbelievable. He is like I'm telling it's a shooting league and you have to prioritize these guys. I'm like shocked his pro comparison is Kirk Heinrich because I'm like, that is not Kirk
Kirk
Heinrich.
Heinrich couldn't shoot, but I think the biggest thing with him is just the height. He's like 6'3" in shoes.
Yeah,
So that's the only tough part. But I think the Rockets are currently mocked to draft him, so interesting
yeah.
replacement for Fred VanVleet possibly in the future.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have like the quickness or like explosiveness of a point guard, so like you don't expect him to be like a
Mhm.
Donovan Mitchell type player, but like the shooting is gonna be like it's gonna be extremely valued in this league that takes more threes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a guy that stands out to me.
Plug and
Um,
play.
Yeah, 100%. And the other guy that's also plug and play to me is Dalton Connect, the Tennessee. I
Yep.
love his game as well. He had great spurts during the tournament season. He is getting underrated compared to Reed Shepard, and I don't understand it. I feel like any of the any of these teams you plug and play Dalton Connect immediately upgrades your lineup. So now like I was watching ESPN, now he's like getting close to like 7, but like earlier mocks, like he wasn't even close to that. So I'm like,
Hmm.
that's a guy I would like a lot. And then I guess you could put Edie up there, well,
Yeah.
with my third R guy, just because like he is getting lowballed right now. So I'm shocked. I'm calling Edie as a sleeper, but like
No, it
um
makes sense.
he is
I
like
mean, it's
you
not
got
the
to take the guy at some point.
yeah. I mean, it's not the first time National Player of the Year is a lot less desired in the draft. I mean, that happened with Luka Garza, and he's like the third, fourth center on the Timberwolves right now. So, I mean, Zaggy's great. I think you just might get exposed in the sort of like I don't want to say he is Boban. That's obviously a comparison because he's going to be the tallest player in the NBA after this, after he gets drafted. But it's just you put him in a pick and roll, you might get cooked by like Donovan Mitchell easily, and that's fine if that's like where you pick him. So just something to think about.
I'll say this: like, if the Bulls end up picking him, I would not be mad. I know they
Yeah.
need shooting, but like, I would rather have him than Vucevic
Oh
because
no,
you're
definitely.
pretty much getting the same thing with both players, and you're
Yeah.
getting better value for him. So I'm like, Zach
Makes
Edey all the way.
sense.
Like, he has the potential to be a better defender than Vucevic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take that chance.
No, I
It's
understand.
it's absolutely unbelievable to me. I get the other guy that's I mean, maybe you want to put Klingon in this too because like he's ranked number 10.
Yeah.
Like centers are not asked to be like spot up shooters now. Like that used to be a requirement when like Golden State was having their like 5 out and like spaced flooring and that whatnot. But the NBA's figured out how to maximize centers. Just look at the Dallas Mavericks. Like Daniel
Mm.
Gafford's not shooting threes. He's not like trying to create his own shot. He's just simply rolling to the rim. Like you're not asking that of Derek Lively. So like, why can't you treat Edie and Klingon the same? Um,
Yeah.
and the other guy I was thinking about too was Filipowski. I think
Yeah.
Filipowski,
Shooter.
like another shooter, he reminds me a lot of like Chet. Upside
Yeah.
maybe not as much, but like he has some he has some traits that make him valuable, like from the power forward spot. That
No,
like not a
definitely.
lot like despite the movement to having like stretch fours, like there's not a lot of guys like him. Chet's probably the closest comparison I can have for him.
No, yeah, makes sense. It's a definitely interesting being at 6'10", able to shoot the way he does. So I like that as well.
Okay. Any other guys that you have on your list you want to talk about?
I mean, you got a lot of European guys. I like Alex Sarr just because I just knew he was like 7'1", given like Wemby Chet vibes. He isn't. His shot is not as polished, but I've seen in some of his clips hitting some crazy like mid-range faders, and I feel like if you can make that shot, you can hopefully figure out how to shoot like a standstill three. So very interesting, but it's so difficult this draft because there's no clear guy as we've had in the past few years. So it's just all kind of one tier ish of guys. So we'll see how it goes. See if there's any more trades made. Get your phones, get Twitter ready in case there's anything.
One guy I don't have any expectations for, and I don't know how he's going to turn out. Is Nikola Topic? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I butchered that name. Topic or Topic. I have no idea. Sorry, guys. But he's getting a lot of Goran Dragic like
you can
comparisons.
see that.
I don't know if that's like a European like bias there of
Hmm.
like I'd be very interested to see where he lands up and how he's used because
Yeah,
it'll tell me a lot about where the NBA is heading, like and how they value a guy like him. So,
yeah.
all righty,
Also,
guys.
tore his ACL recently, partial tear, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, yeah, he might drop down lower on board. So with the draft starting up, we'll let you guys go. Enjoy it, and thank you guys for watching. You can follow us at emon.a.mission on our
Sir,
Instagram page.
locked
Diego,
in.
right on the money as always with the arrow here. And on the YouTube channel, I'm on a mission is our channel name, spaced out 3 words. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. What do you guys think of these trades? What do you guys think of our guys? Do you think they're going to be something or not anything at all? And Atlanta, you are on the clock for 5 minutes.
Let's go.
See you guys later.